This is gonna be my most important live that I've had in a very, very long. Actually, you know what? No, this is my most important live ever. No live is going to top the information that I have to give in this one. The world ain't ready. The world is not ready. The world is not prepared. And our country and our world is about to be screwed. And I'm not saying this to spread fear or panic or anything. I'm just telling it how it is at this point because everybody is no longer hiding what their intentions are. What happens next, guys, is going to be history. So, the update, the video really is China entering into Ukraine. I know we've been waiting for confirmation, and it might be that time, guys. China and Russia yesterday, they had a meeting last night. I don't know. A lot of people don't know about this meeting. They had a meeting last night. And in this meeting, they talked about strengthening each other's military cooperation to assure that NATO in the West cannot expand and to assure that NATO in the West cannot counter them. And this was all last night when everybody was stuck on Joe Biden saying that he was going to protect Taiwan in a clear interview. The man had no sarcasm. The man didn't say, I don't know. The man literally said that he is going to protect Taiwan. American men and women will be fighting the Chinese if they attack Taiwan. They're starting to try to cut some of that interview out, but it's the hard truth that they're telling you right in front of your face, and nobody is really paying attention. But people have questions, but your news is trying to reverse it to the point that people ain't concerned. They'll hear on a TV talking about bomb shelters. How Americans are panicking and need bomb shelters now because they don't know what Vladimir Putin is going to do. The government is even telling them to start making bomb shelters. Why would we need bomb shelters? Really harsh truth. China stands with Russia. They talked about Ukraine. They talked about everything. And China said they're going to help. It came out of their own mouth in the interview. No bullshit, no propaganda, no rhetoric. They actually said that. So now it's no longer NATO and the United States versus Russia. No. It's NATO and the United States versus two nuclear powers. Two nuclear powers. This is not going to be some easy walk in the park war. We're going to lose a lot of assets. We're going to lose a lot of infrastructure. And we're going to lose a lot of young men and women. This is no walk in the park like everybody tries to make it out to be, to make themselves feel a little more comfortable inside and be optimistic that our, army can handle this. They have been jaw dropped so many times by the hypersonic tests of Russia and China. General Milley has said that himself, that their technology on their hypersonics is beyond comprehensible. They're scrambling right now to find defense systems that can protect against it because, guys, we're about to slide into war. The United States and NATO wants to focus on the Arctic because we're about to slide into war. There's an energy crisis and there's a high demand for energy. The Arctic has a lot of resources that can definitely help with that, but Russia's hogging it. So what, people thought that this was just gonna brew over and they were just gonna say, oh, well, forget it, Russia got all the stuff, they're producing it, they're taking it, they're, doing whatever they want with it. The United States is about to build another base in Syria. Actually, they just started that yesterday. I got a lot of stuff today to talk about, bro. I went on the Rampage last night and started looking up stuff because after the Joe Biden thing, the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan, I think it is, went to South Korea. It went to South Korea. Sitting right there to send a message to North Korea. Right after the United States and South Korea said that they would use nuclear weapons to deter North Korea if they decide to do a nuclear attack or launch nukes. So launch nukes can go right in with their nuclear tests, right? Guys, wake up. It's not a time to be asleep. It's not time to be a smartass. It's not a time to be sarcastic and joke and make fun of this shit. People have no idea what they're asking for. We try to warn you. We try to tell you to prepare. We try to tell you to get ready. We try to tell you the truth. All these different channels are trying their best to put out the message to you. And if you ignore this is on you. At this point, all the signs is in your face. If you ignore this and say, oh, I don't care about it, whatever, nothing's going to happen, dude. At this point, that is on you. We have tried everything. I have 12,000 articles on my TikTok. 12,000 articles of what's going on from November to now. This ain't even including the shit that I had from June and February of last year, of the buildup and them warning of nuclear war, of them literally telling you that two world powers was going to challenge one, and they literally gave you the hints last year. I ain't gonna lie. Last year, the Pentagon was on a rampage with the nuclear threats. And then Russia and China joined in with them. This year, they were supposed to pledge to not use them. But then they said, we will use them if we need to deter or prevent a war, or, if we're under attack, like heavy infrastructure gets hit or something like that. So I'm like, y'all pledge not to use nukes to make a reason to use nukes. That makes no freaking sense. You guys know what's going to happen. That's why you guys are over there warning each other. Biden on national TV, don't use nuclear weapons. It would change the whole aspect of the war since World War II. World War II, so World War III. You're basically telling us without telling us that you're going to go into Ukraine if Russia used tactical nukes. Don't forget that they said they will use Article 5 if Russia attacks the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, which they hit another power plant yesterday, a nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine yesterday. People don't understand this. So what are we gonna do now? Let me guess, China stepped into this not only to gain the experience, because they need a little experience of war, but they most likely stepped in this to help Russia end this war a little faster. And just because they know it's going to piss the United States off, because we've been pissing them off all this time. I mean, we about to sign the Taiwan Policy Act. We got a delegation after delegation going to Taiwan, to the island, meeting with the president of Taiwan, chilling overnight for a couple of days. China constantly saying that they're going to, they're not going to take this much longer. Y'all just speeding up the process. All right, we'll be ready for you at 2026 or 2027. What about 2022? These guys have been getting more and more aggressive as we've been getting more and more provocative. It's both sides. I'm not saying that we're the only ones provoking. It's both sides. They're leading each other into World War III. That's what's making this so dangerous, because nobody is talking. It's irresponsible for these countries to not be talking right now. Y'all got to tell each other military movements right now, because it's so tense that anything could happen. A miscommunication, a misfire, an accident, a big accident that could change everything. So what we gonna do? Fund a war for Russia and China? No, that's not going to happen. Because most likely, if China steps into the war, then we got to think, who else is going to step into this for the experience and for the get back? Iran, North Korea, Syria, Belarus. I had to look up something yesterday because it didn't really hit my mind until it really hit my mind. Would NATO let Ukraine hit Kaliningrad? Nobody really talks about Kaliningrad. They forget that's a piece of Russian territory. So is it part of the war? Like, would Ukraine try to hit past that? Could they go into the Baltic Sea and do some attacks on Kaliningrad? Would that severely piss Russia off? Of course it would. I mean, they're already on the last leg. Our experts, our general just said yesterday, he warned the world to be prepared for any outcome of what Russia could do next. General Milley, he said that yesterday. Actually, I'm about to start looking this stuff up, because y'all know I don't like to do the acapella stuff. Oh man, I'm just glad to be alive. All right, let's get this around. Let's start doing this. Oh shoot. That should be better. That's much better. Okay. It's been a while since I got to look up stuff with you guys, and I'm sorry that things gotta be like this, man. It's ridiculous how this world is getting right now. It's ridiculous how everybody's responding to these threats right now. Like, everything is not good. It's not good at all. I had to connect this to Wi-Fi. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Yes, I'll be on TikTok. I had an interview and stuff this morning for a job, so I wasn't active. I just got home from that interview. Horns World. All right, let's see. Here it is. Show y'all my evidence. Molly says world must be on high alert for Russia's response to losses. Why must the world be on high alert? And he's our top general, so does that mean we're on high alert right now? And this was just last night when this came out. Did I say Miley? I meant Millie. My bad, Millie. I always called him Miley, especially after, he told and all that stuff. But anyways, Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley on Sunday warned of potential Russian reactions to losing territory in Ukraine. The war is not going too well for Russia right now. It's so incumbent upon us all to maintain high states of readiness alert, Milley said in Warsaw, Poland. He actually said this to our troops. You guys must be expecting something soon. NATO has not really been talking about the deployment of those 300,000 troops that's on high alert. They kind of been really silent about it. Now, they have said some of the deployments that's in Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, and what's the other one? Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, Poland, Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. Yeah, all that strengthening up right now. They're getting fully ready for Russia. And Russia just shot missiles by Alaska. And the United States actually threatened Russia to hit any threats or to counter any drills near our territory. Wonder if China would join them. Okay, so that's one. That's one thing. That's number one. Number two, oh yeah, they're baiting each other bad. That's why I'm like, this is different. This is different. I know people are saying this is rhetoric, but this is way different. North Korea's updated nuclear law points to a dangerous nuclear future. Huh. You mean dangerous nuclear near future, since the bill's already, the law's already signed in? Y'all try to act like this is going to happen years down the line, but this is building up and happening now. Yep, told y'all that U.S. aircraft carrier to visit South Korea amid North Korean threats. Seoul says North Korea will self-destruct if it uses nukes. There's one I'm looking for, but it was talking about the United States and South Korea saying they'll use nukes if North Korea use nukes. Or a similar weaponry like nuclear weapons. Oh, yeah, that's the big news. The aircraft carrier going there. We got the United States strengthening up Syria, too. Let me get up some different... Let me get some different tabs for different stuff. So I'll be able to go back and forth. That'll make everything a little more easier. Let's talk about Syria. Russia's saying the United States is planning a false flag. Military base targeted with rocket attack in Syria, CENTCOM said. So, right there. CENTCOM. Central Command. United States military base targeted with rocket attack in Syria. United States has carried out airstrikes against Iran-backed militants in the region. So there goes that. That has been heating up over the weeks, and this has been getting worse and worse. Don't forget, Russia, Turkey, and Iran vowed to get the United States out of Syria, and Syria doesn't want the United States there anymore. They're saying they're just there stealing oil. They're stealing resources. So this part right here is starting to heat up as well. Extremist forces targeted U.S.-controlled base in Syria with 3 rocket attacks on Sunday. But the ordinance failed to strike the U.S. forces or equipment. How long, I wonder, until all this really breaks off? Now, let's see if it has it on here that the United States is actually strengthening up their bases, or I think they said either strengthening up or expanding their bases in Syria because, you know, they keep coming under attack now. Washington can't look weak on the world stage right now, and they're not going to look weak, guys. They're going through this all the way to the end. Oh, did it just freeze up? All right, there we go. Okay, South Korea, that's the one I wanted to look up. The South Korea and U.S., they vowed to use nukes. All right, let's see. There it is. Warn of overwhelming decisive response. Let's see. South Korea, U.S. warn of overwhelming and decisive response to North Korea nuclear attack. South Korea and the United States warned of overwhelming and decisive response to any nuclear attack at North Korea high-level strategic talks on Friday, denouncing North Korea's first-use nuclear doctrine as an escalators and destabilizing messaging. This is not that one. It literally said that they vowed to use nuclear weapons if North Korea decided to use nuclear weapons or similar weapons to it. Just the one? Oh, yeah, here it is. Yep. South Korea and the United States to respond with nuclear attacks against North Korea, weapon of mass destruction use. Here it is. The United States has decided to respond with nuclear weapons if North Korea uses not only nuclear weapons, but comparable weapons of mass destruction. The United States and the Republic of Korea made clear that any DPRK nuclear attack would be met with overwhelming and decisive response. South Korea and the United States announced in a joint statement adopted at a meeting of the Extended Deterrence Strategy of Consultative Group. Wow. That's crazy. Anybody else threatening to use nukes, and it's unprofessional. But we allowed to threaten to use our nuclear weapons. That's crazy. What else? What else? What else? Oh, yeah. Should we talk about... Wow. So their border conflict is still going on? Tajikistan. So this is breaking off as well. More border skirmishes between Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. The recent outbreak of hostilities on the border represents the dangerous escalation from previous tension and skirmishes and a distant act of aggression. Wow, so many fronts are breaking off, man. I'm surprised people ain't putting two and two together that, hey, there's a lot of fronts breaking off. This could be World War III. Like, yeah, everybody's starting to fight. Even Iran is jumping in the mix because of Armenia and Azerbaijan. Demining MOU, okay. Iran's Revolutionary Guard claims Turkey has deployed 45,000 troops to the Armenian border. Holy crap. Oh boy. Okay, so here come more stuff. Look at this. See what I'm talking about, guys? I mean, and nothing's happening. You know, a lot of trolls like to say nothing's happening. This is all rhetoric and all just a distraction for this and that and this and that. Okay, anyways. Let's go down. According to the UKR report this evening, Monday, September 19th, Iran's Revolutionary Guards have claimed that Turkey has deployed 45,000 troops to Armenian border, and recent ceasefire between Azerbaijan and Armenia appears to be holding for the moment, but Turkey is a known ally of Baku. Iran already reportedly dispatched military forces last week to its border with Armenia. See, Iran. And then there it is. Yep, dispatch. They deployed 45,000 soldiers to the border with Armenia. This is crazy. Following Azerbaijan's attack on Armenia last week, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, flew into Armenian capital. Always comes up like that. Always comes up like that. Heading to a congressional delegation, her objective was to try and calm the region, but her presence has not gone down so well with everybody. Hell no, it didn't. Just like you try to calm down Taiwan in the China situation, right, with the visit. And that just made it 10 times worse. And now y'all going to stop supplying Azerbaijan, so that's going to really piss them off. And they're like, well, what's holding us back now? Might as well start this war in the region. Everybody's about to start fighting, man. This is ridiculous. And there's not about to be no control because the United States, China, and Russia are about to fight it out. So who's going to stop all this? Who's going to stop this chaos? Nobody is. And who's going to stop the United States, Russia, and China from using nuclear weapons? The people? They'll just declare martial law and do whatever they're going to do anyway. Or, you know, make us stand against each other, fight each other, and do what they're going to do anyway. Corruption to the fullest. It's always on our news. Division and conquer. Make us fight. Make us fight. And then y'all can, you know, do y'all agenda from the bunkers. The thing is, people really want this to get better and better and better. People want this to go away. This is what a lot of people are hoping for. And I know this is why people call this propaganda. I know why this is why people call this rhetoric, because a lot of them are scared. They don't know what to expect out of this. They was never prepared for this shit. Unless you're a prepper, unless you've, you know, been studying this for years. Some people are getting their bunkers now. Some people got running water. Some people got backup generators just in case, you know, the power goes out. They're literally going and setting up right now. They're leaving their areas right now. It is time to get ready, man. Not many of us can tell you this much longer. That the time is now to prepare. Iran will engage in countermeasures to defend Armenia. Wow. This is crazy, man. Everything is brewing right now. Right now. There's a lot brewing. Now, I'll read this article. Now, the guy that wrote this article, Hall Turner, I know a lot of you guys heard about it from last night. And if y'all want to know about the Chinese convoys, give me a second. Gotta teach you guys how to search this stuff up. Okay. There we go. There we go. If you guys wanted to know about the news from yesterday about the Chinese convoy entering, you know, Ukraine from Russia, there's more than one source actually saying that, guys. Okay. And you got the Twitter and all that. I always put past day, and then I always go down, and it will show you everything that you need to see. A lot of people search it. They just look it up. And then when you just look it up like this, Google and other stuff will cover all these articles up with other articles that are less, you know, attention grabbing. You'll be like, oh, wait, this is from freaking months ago. No, this is not what I'm looking for. See, I knew this shit was fake. But no, you just got to know how to look it up. You got to know how to look this stuff up. But yes, it's literally all on here. Oh boy. Oh, is it still on past day? No, I don't want that. All right, let's see. I think we're 1 over. All right, Chinese military convoy enters Ukraine from Russia. Let's go down. Oh, my former colleagues in intelligence community during my years with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force have sent me images of Chinese army units entering Ukraine from Russia. The images and some video, which is still being analyzed, show a small convoy, very small, of general military transport type of trucks and some smaller vehicles, which is just like our Humvees, traveling via public roads from Russia into Ukraine. And then there's images of it. We've seen the video of it on TikTok yesterday, and I know Off Grid have showed you guys this as well. But y'all can obviously see the Chinese flag on the side and the camouflage video. There's more and more. This simple, small act changes the entire dynamic of the Russia-Ukraine situation. Ukraine, the United States, and UK, and all of NATO have just found out that China is now an active participant and came in on the side of Russia. Stakes in this situation just went so high they completely off the charts. They went completely off the charts. It is no understatement to say this is an earth-shattering development. More when I get it. Okay, and then here comes the video. And then they show you the video of the stuff actually going there. I'll put it on YouTube since I put it on my TikTok as well. And then a person, Israeli News Live, they translated it, and it actually did say that these troops were heading towards Ukraine. These are not from the drills that were just happening. This was just yesterday. All right. You got that. And then you can see there's a whole minute and 15 of, these vehicles. There's probably way more than that. That's just what they're showing for now. With this single small, almost insignificant action, China just announced the whole world that it is now militarily standing with Russia inside Ukraine. Superpowers number 2 and number 3. Told you guys Russia was number 2 and China's number 3. A lot of people don't believe me on the nuclear, on the superpower thing. But anyways, are now openly, physically confronting superpower number 1. It seems to me that we in the United States and European vassals, states, partners ought to get the message and get it quick. I personally perceive the message to be either this Ukraine nonsense stops now or open warfare between all 3 nuclear armed superpowers is on the table. Now, this is a radio show. This is a guy, he always brings out new information that he gets either from via Twitter. Some of the stuff is from Twitter. Some of the stuff is from other sources, like the sources that we get, articles, 24/7 War News GR. He's always on this. He's been on this for a while. Now, he does have the best history as far as, a lot of people know about his, past, but I don't judge him on his past. The thing is, right now, he's getting his stuff out to the people. When I reported this, it occurred to me that it was only 72 hours ago that I reported to all of you a serious new development. China publicly supports Russia's action. Now, this is an update. He always do these updates at different times. Li is the head of China's legislator and chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. He is number 3 and a very big fish. So where was Mr. Li last week? Well, at the Eastern Economic Forum in Russia. He met with and talked with President Vladimir Putin. Li also had a key meeting with Russian State Duma, the Russian legislator, the speaker, and other Duma leaders. Sounds like they're brewing something to me. This is what he told the Duma. Pay very close attention. We see that the United States and its NATO allies are expanding their presence near Russian borders, seriously threatening national security and the lives of Russian citizens. We fully understand the necessity of all the measures taken by Russia aimed at protecting its key interests. We are providing our assistance. How explicit is that? Well, China's President Xi Jinping and Russia's President Vladimir Putin will have a special meeting on the sidelines and for cooperation organization for the SCO, Shanghai, I think it's the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. They will discuss Russia's special military operation in Ukraine in detail and especially the next steps. Then afterwards, we may be able to ascertain that what Lee meant when he said we are providing our assistance. Here we are just 72 hours later, and now the beginning to see exactly what Mr. Lee meant when he said we are providing our assistance to Russia. So this is another update. Consider also that China gave no hint at all about what they're about to do. No warnings, no ultimatums to the United States or Europe. They simply showed up in Ukraine, entering through Russia. That said absolutely everything that needed to be said. This is no longer the United States, EU, and NATO versus Russia. This is the collective West now versus two nuclear-armed superpowers. What Russia lacks in naval resources has just been made up by China. What China lacks in hypersonic missiles technology is more than covered by Russia. Yes, that's what people have not been thinking about. These guys are superpowers in their own field. In their own field. And they perfectly align, perfectly with each other as far as teammates. If these guys were to militarily share everything with each other, was to actually trust each other to a T, they would be a major threat to the United States of America because they already got stuff that can threaten our homeland. And that's what people ain't recognizing right now. This is a very disastrous situation. Everything that you've watched in a movie, from tsunamis hitting coast or, asteroids hitting the earth, that is damn near close. Russia has a nuclear torpedo that can literally cause radioactive tsunamis off the coast of the East Coast, the West Coast of the United States. Hence, I wonder what Tonga was. It would be bad on all sides. But let's continue on. What Rush? Oh yeah, we already talked about that. As for manpower, well, I don't want to put to a fine point on it, but we don't stand a chance at all. Now, what he's going to get into next, I'm not going to go into. I know what he means, what he says, our country's going soft. And I'm just going to put it like that because I don't want no hate. But you can get with a capital T. I'll put, for the people that want to read or try to read through it or whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to say it. But anyways, let's see. Okay, maybe I'm being a little too hard on the left. Maybe we can gather up all the folks camping out in the big city streets because they're now homeless. They now know how to rough it, or maybe they can enlist and fight, accept the reason they're on the streets and homeless is because of the drugs that they take to avoid reality: heroin, methamphetamine, fentanyl, and oxycodone. All to avoid reality and shape created by the liberal. Yes, I pretty much the higher ups, because they've been bringing drugs into this country. People are depressed. They don't want to go through this mess. A lot of people are being suicidal, don't want to even live anymore. You would be surprised how many people on my TikTok ask me or just say to me that they can't wait till Russia nukes this whole planet so they can die peacefully. I'm like, dude, speak for your freaking self. I got a kid out there and I got a family out here. I don't want to be freaking nuked too. I want to enjoy my life because I don't know what's next. I don't know if we're going to heaven or hell, or if we're getting reincarnated, or if we're going to be a ball of energy that roams the earth. I have no idea what we're going to be in another world. That's why I'm enjoying my life right now. I talk to people every day. I'm learning to be more socialized and learn how to to actually question people on this. And to talk to people that know even way more than me about stuff like this. Because they're giving you the message, they just can't tell you. They can't tell you it in full, but they're telling you what they'll do without really telling you. See what I mean? We're so fucked it isn't funny. All thanks to to our government. I'm just gonna say government. We should tell Ukraine we've done all we can do, and there's no further aid from the United States, EU, or NATO. Negotiate as best as you can with Russia. Best of luck. But if we do or say anything else, we are literally at Armageddon. Full stop. Yep. Because now you got China and Russia. So what are you going to do? Use US and NATO weapons to attack the Chinese? That doesn't sound like a pleasant idea if we're trying to avoid conflict. We're screwed, guys. On that note, we are screwed. This has went to directions that we prayed it wouldn't get to. This has went to directions that they've been trying to warn you a little bit about. I mean, they put up the New York PSA. They're doing drills in Texas. Houston's about to have airplane drills. Our military is definitely stacked up in Texas right now. I'm wondering if they're expecting something from the South, or is our enemy already here and that's why we're on terrorist alert, or is our government about to do something to up our security here because, you know, things are getting so bad in the world. We shouldn't be able to trust our borders right now. That's how bad things are getting. Russia could come through Canada or come through Mexico. They don't even have to send troops. They could send troops in the disguise of civilians, or in the disguise of scholars, or disguise of professors, or, you know, anything else that they sneak past the borders. Migrants do it all the time, so you don't think that armies can't do it? They go past borders all the time. So you don't think our enemies are already here? You don't think China already set up the 5G disruptors that they're saying that can disrupt our communications between bases? You don't think that we're already set up to fail? I'm not saying we're going to lose. The whole world loses if we go to war. Everybody loses. But I'm saying we're acting very dumb. You know your enemy is buying up land to get closer and observe you, and you say, okay, we're going to see if there's anything we can do about it. Dude, get them the fuck out of here. There should be no need to check or anything. Get them out of here. Your relations are getting worse. And the worse that they get is the more chances that something shady is going to happen that civilians are not ready for. Makes me think, why is our aircraft carriers and destroyers really going all in different places around the sea? Yes, it's to send a message to Russia and China, but what happens when an accident happens? Because now they're saying China's going to be more aggressive, especially after Biden said what he said, that he's going to protect Taiwan. U.S. men and women will protect Taiwan. Actually, hold on. I want y'all to see this. Sorry, this was from yesterday because I was watching his live yesterday. I'll be looking, guys. I'll be looking. Biden tells 60 Minutes the pandemic is over. Wait, what?
First Detroit auto show in 3 years.
Yeah,
Is the pandemic over?
the pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over.
First Detroit auto show in 3 years.
Okay. Well, that was reassuring to hear. Thanks, Mr. President. Thanks, Mr. President.
We spoke about the U.S. president among the world leaders there.
Let me see if I can put this on the TV so it can be a little louder. I'm gonna try to put this on the TV. We got the remote right here. It's crazy how things are getting, man. Clear this off. All right. There we go. Let's see. Let's do this. And boom. Should work. Booyah.
Funeral. He's given a prominent interview where he's spoken about his 2024 intentions and also made some further remarks about the Taiwan issue.
Yeah, major development here in the last hour, Kieran. A 60 Minutes interview Joe Biden has done. We know he's in London for the Queen's funeral. He said he may or may not run in 2024. We'll get to that in a second. But he's also said that if Taiwan were invaded, the US would go to war. Have a listen to this.
To be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women, would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion.
Yes.
What should Chinese President Xi know about your commitment to Taiwan?
Oops. My bad.
We agree with what we signed on to a long time ago. And that there's one China policy, that Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. We're not, that's their decision.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
That's pretty unequivocal, maybe more unequivocal than it's been before. And then on 2024, look, he says it's his intention to run, but let's see what happens. That sounds like he's not running.
Sir, are you committed to running again, or are there certain conditions that have to be right?
Look, if I were to say to you, I'm running again, all of a sudden a whole range of things come into play that I have, requirements I have to change and move and do.
In terms of election laws?
In terms of election laws. And it's too early to make that kind of decision. I'm a great respecter of fate. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing my job. I'm going to do that job, and within the time frame that makes sense after this next election cycle here, going into next year, make a judgment of what to do.
You say that it's much too early to make that decision. I take it the decision has not been made in your own head.
Look, my intention, as I said to begin with, is that I would run again, but it's just an intention. But is it a firm decision that I run again? That remains to be seen.
Anyways.
So there you go.
Y'all got the point. The man literally said that we will protect Taiwan. American men and women will protect Taiwan. The man asked the question, and Biden said yes twice. Twice. Crazy. All right. I just saw the Louis say something about an earthquake in Mexico. Dang, that should have shockwave here. I I feel like they're giving us a message underground, man. Telling y'all, them fallen angels might really be down there. Because ever since we've been starting to get on the war trend, our world's been really effing up, and we keep seeing these UFOs that nobody knows what is. But yes, there was an earthquake, 7.6 magnitude. Hits Mexico's Pacific coast. Why on the coast? And they have a tsunami warning. What is going on in the world, man? Taiwan just had the same thing, the earthquake and tsunami warning. Taiwan rocked by a 7.2 magnitude earthquake. That was day before yesterday. But I wanted to show y'all that it's happening around. And it was on a tsunami warning as well. Yeah, something definitely about to happen, guys. And me, I have a very bad feeling about it. I'm not gonna lie. I got a really bad feeling. Let me see if anything else happened with China today. Russia did threaten with nuclear war because of the Biden thing. China's Dongfeng missiles compared to America's nuclear arsenal. China urging Biden to not to give Taiwan forces wrong signal after remarks. China urging Biden. Oh, Lord. Russia seek closer security ties with China. Oh, yeah, let me show y'all that. That's the other thing I want to show. I want to prove everything I just said today. Going all on this. All on this. They're supposed to be strengthening military ties. They had a high-level meeting. I told you I wasn't lying. Russia, China strengthen relations with high-level meetings amid war in Ukraine. Wow. A Russia security delegation is in China this week for 2 days of a high-level meetings aimed at furthering strengthening cooperation between the two nations, which is something that is causing concern in the region. The diplomatic talks are another sign of deepening military ties between Beijing and Moscow since the beginning of the Ukraine war. They also follow a closely watched summit last week where Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping discussed the conflict behind closed doors. Then suddenly there's stuff heading to Ukraine from Russia, right? Chinese stuff. Emerged from the meeting and said that the two countries were prepared to extend strong support to each other concerning their respective core interests. So let me get that China's going to help Russia with Ukraine because of the United States and NATO, or China's just going to help Russia with NATO, and Russia's going to help China with Taiwan or Japan, most likely Japan. I don't think China's really going to need much help, but, they might get military help. So these guys are about to, they're about to go in like that. After the meeting, both men reaffirmed efforts to pursue a strategic alliance that will ultimately work to counter Western influence in the region. Did y'all hear that? One more time. After the meeting, the both men reaffirmed efforts to pursue a strategic alliance that will ultimately counter or work to counter the West influence in the region. The course to develop a strategic partnership with China is unconditional priority of Russia's foreign policy. It enjoys broad support of the peoples of the two countries, and it is based on deep mutual trust and therefore is not subject to external influence. Facts. That is crazy. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's starting to heat up, guys. I mean, it is starting to really freaking heat up. Like I said, if you're not watching, if you're not seeing this, if you're ignoring this, this is not the time to be doing that, man. China also met with Belarus. I wonder why. And they about to change the SCO or the BRICS into a military alliance. Is that what's about to go on here? Are they about to counter NATO by making their own NATO? I know Russia got like a little mini NATO that they have, you know, with Belarus and a couple other countries. But is that the direction that China and Russia are about to go? Belarus and China oppose any attempts to falsify and distort World War II history. Yep, here it is. Shenxi, Belarus and China's Shanxi province to expand trade, economic investments, and cooperation. This is off there. I wanted to find, there was one, they just had a meeting. I believe she had a meeting with Lukashenko. Right here. Belarus, China will support each other under any conditions. Belarus, China will support each other under any conditions. This was stated to a journalist by Belarus' first deputy prime minister on the sidelines of the SCO summit. It's Samarkand. They reported. Let's go down. Jeez, this is crazy to see that more and more people are coming together. The president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, held talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping. They called their meeting short but historic. It will change the world. It will change the world of Belarus because fundamental and strategic decisions have been made. First of all, this is an increase in the level of cooperation between Belarus and China to all-weather and all-comprehensive strategic partnership. All-weather means that we will support each other in the conditions of any international actions and any international agenda, he explained. According to Snopkov, there will be a political impulse along Chinese management and vertical stating that Belarus is a reliable all-weather partner. Government agencies and businesses will respond accordingly to further expansion of legions. We are in favor of United China, and China stands for United Belarus. Wow. This is crazy, bro. While everybody's struggling, these guys are going to be, that's crazy. What, some people can't hear me? Russia Defense Ministry, the United States acknowledged exports of samples of pathogenic strains and biomaterial of citizens from Ukraine. What? Spain starts training Ukrainian military. I'm just seeing the breaking news up here. I'm like, oh, wow. I can hear you, Javante. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Off Grid. Off Grid's in here, guys. Okay, what else is up here? State Border Committee denies accusations that Belarus does not prevent refugees from crossing the border. Oh, so is that becoming a thing again? Belarus does not prevent. Wow. Okay, so that's Belarus and most likely Poland's issue again. They just had an issue at the end of last year. I remember that they had a big standoff too. Then that died off the news pretty after they came up with a little deal. But yeah, I wanted to show y'all that China is even signing or showing their cooperation with Belarus, which is a major Russian ally. And Russia's been trying to pretty much absorb Belarus. As y'all heard Lukashenko say earlier this year, Putin does what he wants. If Putin wants to put his troops in Belarus, he's going to put his troops in Belarus. If Putin wants to put his missiles in Belarus, he's going to put his missiles in Belarus. And now Belarus still, don't forget, has nuclear capable planes now that Russia helped them with, helped them upgrade, that can hold Russian nuclear weapons now. So they're not playing around. This has been heating up fast. And you think NATO ain't responding behind the scenes? You think NATO ain't deploying anything or... Y'all think this is just, they're just like, yeah, whatever, you know, let them send nukes to our border, let Russia deploy hypersonics to Kaliningrad, let all these regions go to war. We're just going to sit here and chill and this war is never coming to it. No, dude, they're just preparing right now, man. Europe is having a horrible energy crisis. They're even having power issues, man. I bet you if I looked up, let me see. If I looked up Europe blackout, or let me just say energy. I'll try blackout. I'll try the blackout first. Europe prepares blackout plans to heat off winter energy chaos. Europe braces for a winter gas shortage and blackouts. Finnish grid operator renews blackout warning. New forecast. I mean, come on, because everybody's having a hard time getting energy. This is why the Battle of the Arctic is getting ready to heat up. Russia and China's already had the go ahead today. I mean, already have to go ahead with Russia. They're already up there with Russia, working with Russia up there. U.S. banks prepare for blackouts as energy crisis worsens. So, what about the U.S.? I wonder what happens when you put blackout in the U.S. Because don't forget, we're still part of this. And there's a reason they said that we can't help Europe. We can't even bail them out of this crisis. We can't even bail them out right now. United States said Europe is on their own. Hurricane Fiona brings blackout to Puerto Rico. Oh, it's going to most likely be Puerto Rico then that they're talking about today. Let me put United States. There we go. See if that comes up. Republicans will share the blame for blackouts in blue states. The United States experiences widespread blackouts in the next decade. Don't place all the blame on Democrats. Wow. California avoided rolling blackouts and extreme heat, says anti-green critics want to double down on stupid. Okay. All of Puerto Rico is plunged in a blackout. Yeah, that hurricane really tore Puerto Rico up as far as their electricity. I heard the whole island is dark right now. Straight news from California. Grid issues after panning Texas over winter blackout. Oh yeah, Texas did have horrible blackout issues in the winter last year. I remember that. Okay. What's the other thing I wanted to put on here? There was one more thing.